Hey everyone, it's Marco here, back once again from the mycolorscreen channel, and in today's video, going to be bringing you guys a very easy to follow minimal Android home screen setup. So what are we waiting for? Let's bring you today's new video. Great everyone, so today's very minimal setup is brought to you by Arturo MB and it is titled Orange Clouds, as you can see why. Now it's perfect for all the minimal lovers out there but still want to have some functionality built in. For example, you've got your status bar here at the top providing you with all your necessary information, even an awesome little cell signal display here depending if you're on Wi-Fi or mobile data. Then at the bottom you've got all your time information here, your weather info, and this little button here that once selected will bring down your quick settings, which is pretty neat. And let's not forget this little green button here, then when selected will bring up this very semi-transparent little quick setting or quick apps here. For example, your music, you can just select it like that, or if you want you can get to your camera, your gallery, your search, whatever else that you want it to go to. So if you'd like to set up this very minimal home screen, then let us begin with today's video tutorial. Great, so first up, the apps and resources that you'll be needing in order to complete this very setup. Number one will be a custom launcher. I'm running Thema at the moment, but you're still welcome to use Nova Launcher, Apex, SS Launcher, whatever your preferred launcher is. It pretty much can handle it as it's just widgets that need to be added onto your home screen. Next up will be Popup Widget, which allows you to do that little funky animation there, and I do recommend going for the full version because the free one doesn't really cut it. You don't get as many options. Then thirdly will be ZooperWidget, and it's recommended to go for the Pro version. If you're running Thema, you can handle this with the Thema ZooperWidget. However, for this one it'll pop up right here. It didn't work out too well with the Thema ZooperWidget, so the Pro version is recommended. Then last but not least will be a File Explorer. I always recommend ES File Explorer because it is the easiest and it's free, and I just really enjoy it. So once you've got your apps down, what you want to be doing is checking the link in the description below. It comes with a zip file that you need to either extract onto your computer using various unzipping software, or you can extract it directly onto your phone. So once that's onto your phone, it should have a little folder here, such as the one here called Orange Clouds, and it comes with the wallpaper and these three ZooperWidget templates. So you just need to simply hold down on all three of them, make sure that they're selected. You can go more here, go move to, and this is where you want to move it into the specific folder. So if I scroll down now, I want it to go into the ZooperWidget folder, then into templates, and now I just want to select OK, and then it'll then be copied into that ZooperWidget folder, which is where I want them to be. Great, and if you have any apps or widgets that are currently on your home screen, you just want to hold down on each one of them and select remove, or you can drag them into the X at the top like that. So you want to have a fresh, clean home screen with nothing on it. So yeah, let's begin with your launcher setup. Great, so for your launcher setup, remember you want to have a completely blank home screen, as if you hold down now, you want to get into your launcher settings. Now I'm just gonna, for Thema it's a little bit different. You just need to go into your settings here, go into your advanced, and then into your desktop settings, and you can change everything from here. Obviously if you say using Nova Launcher, then it is pretty much the same setup. You'll just be going into your desktop settings. So from here, a desktop grid size, I made it a 10 by 10. It didn't fit quite exactly the way I wanted to, but it was actually quite simple. So as long as it's pretty large, such as that 10 by 10, you should be good to go. Next up, you want to make sure that your margins are all on none. Screens, you just want to have one home screen. Your notification bar, you want that to be disabled. You'll find that in the look and feel if you're using Nova Launcher. Then as always, you want to have resizable widgets as well as overlapping widgets enabled, just to make your life a whole lot easier. If you have a dock, you also want that to be disabled, and then that's pretty much it, because you just want to have a completely blank open canvas for you to do all your dirty work. Now once that's been set up, you want to be changing this wallpaper or whatever wallpaper you have. So you're just going to hold down on your home screen, change wallpaper, select that icon. Now you want to jump to where the cloud wallpaper has been placed. So I'm just going to move it slightly to the left so you get some of that orangeness in it, and then you want to select save. And now it's going to save your wallpaper, which is probably the easiest thing in the world. You just need to select save once again, and then bam, you have a completely brand new wallpaper ready for those widgets to be added. Great, so now that your launch has been set up, your wallpaper's done, now we're going to be adding in your ZooperWidget. Now it's extremely easy to do. We're just going to hold down on your home screen, select widgets right now, scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm just going to be using ZooperWidget Pro, as it is quite simple to use. You're still welcome to use your Thema ZooperWidget, but for this tutorial I'll just be going with ZooperWidget, except for a little later on. So I'm going to be holding down now, make sure that it doesn't go into the X, and I'm going to be selecting resize. Now this is I'm going to start off with the top one. As you can probably tell, I'm going to tap away, make sure that it covers pretty much the top of the screen, and now you can just select the hand and it'll bring up the Zooper configuration menu here. Next up, you want to be selecting SD card, because if you pasted it in the correct folder, it should now show up here as all of these have now been doing. Now you're going to be selecting the top 6x1 right now, so probably a column size of 6 is probably the way to go, but then I got lazy and just left it as a 10x10 and it worked out. But you may notice that it is slightly down, and I did this now on purpose. I know you might be thinking, well, it's not on purpose. Well, I still wanted to show you guys exactly what happens if it looks like this, as I want to just move everything up slightly, but I don't want it to do every single item by item, as that can take some time. If I go into layout right now, this is a quick little tip that you may know, but some of you may not. If you select this little middle icon here at the top, looks like a little list icon, what it does is select everything at once that you can either delete or reposition, and that's what we want to be doing. You're going to select that little reposition icon, and if you select enable fast move, remember UCCW could always do this, well now Zooper can do it as well. Now I'm just going to be bumping up or bumping down the Y offset. Don't know why if it pushed down it goes up, but I'm not complaining. But I pushed it down twice and there it is. Now it is flush against the top. We can just see what that looks like, and that looks a whole lot better. So one widget down, let's move on to the one at the bottom. So for this Zooper widget, it is kind of tricky because I'm using Thema, and Thema right now doesn't have a shortcut settings such as the one that Nova Launcher has, where you can just pretty much match it to a shortcut. You kind of have to do it within its own tab. So if you're using Nova Launcher, stick with ZooperWidget Pro. However, if you're using Thema, go with the Thema Zooper Widget. I'm going to be using Thema Zooper Widget. So I'm going to just drag this down to the bottom and just resize it. So it pretty much takes up a little bit of the bottom half of the screen. Now I'm just going to be selecting it again. It's going to bring up the configuration menu here. If you're using ZooperWidget Pro, it's going to be exactly the same process. As you can tell, they look identical. However, there's this one little tab that comes with Thema ZooperWidget that the ZooperWidget Pro doesn't have, and I'll come to that right now. Now here it is, 6x2 bottom, and there it is. As you can tell, it's a little bit too high up. You can see a little bit of a gap. So once again, I'm just going to go back into my layout, select all of them, select the reposition, little icon there, fast move, and then just move it down slightly. So I think that looks pretty good. Now remember, I'm using Thema ZooperWidget, not ZooperWidget Pro, as because see that little icon there for the quick settings. Remember when I selected that, the quick settings menu dropped down. Now this is very easy to do. I think it's really been auto set within Nova Launcher, or the Nova Launcher setting to bring down the quick notifications. That's how mine did it. But if you're using Thema ZooperWidget, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to go into your layout now. See these three little blocks here beneath the PM or AM, whatever it may be. These are the three icons, well, three bars that make up that quick settings icon. You just want to select one right now, go into your module on tap action, and see this is where this new tab appears. This obviously won't appear in your ZooperWidget Pro because it's not linked to Thema. Now we want to scroll down a bit to the bottom, select Thema expand quick settings, and then do that same for the bottom or the next two rectangles as well. So module on tap, scroll a bit down, expand quick settings, and the last one. So there it is. Let's just go module on tap and then expand quick settings. Obviously you can do whatever else. You can say show notification bar. It is entirely up to you. But remember, say if you're using Nova and this is the first time you're doing it, you're going to go to the tab, the shortcuts tab, scroll a bit down, look for Nova Launcher or Apex Launcher depending on what you're using, and it has exactly the same options here. As you can see, expand quick settings. So whatever is your preferred launcher is the option that you're going to be going for. But I'm using Thema, so that worked out for me. And we can just always just go back and then wait for it. Let's just see, and bam, it works. So that's really cool. So lastly, we just need to add in this little pop-up widget here at the bottom, which can get pretty tricky. Great, so lastly, you're going to be creating that pop-up widget, the one here at the bottom. Now you are welcome to link it to this widget right here, but that constantly gave me errors. So if you're like me and you don't want to have errors, then I just created a new Zooper widget and I didn't have any hassle whatsoever. So instead of using a Thema Zooper widget, that's also sometimes it gave me an error, so I just kind of stuck with ZooperWidget Pro and it seemed to work out very, very well. But you're still welcome to try out Thema ZooperWidget and let me know how it goes. And I'm just going to resize this one right here just so it takes up this little green button. And instead of going into my SD card, I'm going to be selecting empty because I'm going to be creating a completely blank new widget. I'm just going to go into my widget background, make sure that that's fully transparent, and next going into my widget on tab action. From here, I'm going to swipe across to my shortcuts tab because a pop-up widget in theory is a shortcut. It is kind of weird, but yeah, that's it. So here is pop-up widget. Going to be selecting it, and next up, the one that you want to be worried about is firstly make sure that it is full screen just so it doesn't pop up the notification bar, which gets really weird and annoying. And from here, you want to select create a new pop-up widget. Now, for some reason, using the theme as ZooperWidget didn't work out well. It somehow just disappeared when selecting it. So I do recommend going for ZooperWidget Pro. Now, it doesn't really matter what size you go for. Well, it kind of does. So let's just say go for a 3x2. Now, you're always welcome to give this new widget a name. So that'll be in the title, but that's entirely up to you. Same goes for the rest of these options here. Now I'm going to be leaving them completely standard. It's all up to you what you want to change them, such as the speed, the animation, the effect. That's entirely up to you. Let me just make it a bit faster. So that's about it. You want to make sure that it is full screen and make sure that the customize position option is enabled just to make your life a whole lot easier so it just doesn't chill in the top corner or something like that. Now if you scroll a bit more down, we can see that this is what it's going to look like. So let's just make it a bit bigger, maybe a bit wider, doesn't really matter, it's up to you. I think that looks pretty good for now, but our input position does have to change. Now for my X, for some reason this sometimes varies, and I'm going to show you a quick way how to get back here. But let's just go for a 150 for my X, and then for my Y value a 400. And obviously I'm going to be changing this right now, but I think this looks pretty good. I'm just going to select back and then select this newly created ZooperWidget, as now it's been set as a module on tab action when I select this very widget. So let's test it out. Tap that little area, there it is, bam, all shiny and clean looking. So right now what I first want to do is to make sure that I get this in the middle. So a little quick method here, I'm just going to go back. If I hold down on my home screen and select apps, I'm just going to be quickly adding in a pop-up widget shortcut. So where is it? There it is. I'm going to drag it onto my home screen. As now I can just quickly get back to that setting just to make sure so I don't have to keep going back into my app drawer, and this just saves a lot of time. So selecting the wrench will enable you to get back into your editor. So I want to change that input position again, so let's move it slightly to the right. So let's just make this new X position 220, see how that goes, go back again, and then select the little plus there, and that looks pretty much in the middle. I think that is good enough for me, so I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now is to select this little widget right here, so it brings up the ZooperWidget. I'm going to go into my SD card now because I'm going to be importing that little pie widget that looks so awesomely awesome, and I'm just going to scroll a bit more down. Where is it? There it is. So there it's now been added. Maybe you want to increase the scaling a bit. It's entirely up to you, but from here you're also welcome to change the layout. As if you scroll a bit down in the layout, you can see all of these funny little, they're almost like, it looks like basically letters, and that's what they are. But what they actually are these little images right here. So it is a bit confusing, but for example, if I say I wanted to change there, I can change the folder. Well, so it's going to open up, say, my ES File Explorer. Well, it's already been set to there. So if I select my widget on tab action and then scroll to my app list, I can then choose whatever app. Say if you don't want to use ES File Explorer, you can choose whatever else that you would want. So all you have to do is configure each one of those to your liking, and then finally in the main widget settings here, select widget on tab action and select disabled. As now what will happen if I go back, let's just try it out, and then there it is, it's now been added. If I tap around here, nothing will happen because I've now disabled it, which is still awesome, as I can still open up my gallery just like that. So the last thing you want to do is just get rid of this little icon here, and then if you want to have gestures in your launcher, you're still welcome to do so. Within Thema, you just hold down on your home screen, go into Thema settings, go into your gestures right now, and then you can change it to whatever else you want. I said swipe up to open up my app drawer, so I can always just get to my app drawer just like that, quick and simple. So there it is, guys. There's your home screen complete. You got a little time there, you got your little date, your battery information there, you got your cell information right there, and as well as this little awesome pop-up that looks truly amazing. Really cool. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up, as well as to please subscribe to the mycolorscreen channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to check out our various social communities. We are on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and even Instagram. You name it, we just want to help you guys out. And last but not least, don't forget to check out mycolorscreen's official one-click theming launcher titled Theme Beta. As you can see, you can choose from a whole list of free themes that are truly amazing. Or if you want, you can even export your themes like I just did with this orange clouds. As you can tell, I just saved it or exported it within the advanced settings, and let's just see, pretty much saved it, and then loads up all your settings for you, which is quite cool. Let me just see. Yeah, it still works. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Marco here from the mycolorscreen channel, and as always, don't stop customizing.